Acts 3 and the climax specifically are the most important part of your movie, because this is how people are going to remember it. You want to leave the audience on a high. You want to leave them with the message that you're trying to get across.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
You want to leave them with the armature, and you want them to have understood it and to, at least on an emotional level, taken it in. The hero has become a new creature, and they're ready to take on the villain. So Jurassic Park, the third act is the Raptors. As soon as the Raptors come out, that's Act 3. They've been built up this entire movie. They have this aura about them of, oh, those are the dangerous ones. We can't even see them in the cage. And then Act 3, they've gotten out. We finally see them. A great way to make your story meaningful and inevitable and to know where you're going is you know the ending first. You don't necessarily have to write the ending first, but you have to know where you're writing to. The conclusion should be surprising yet inevitable.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business.
The inevitable part comes from paying off your setups. In Toy Story, they're setting things up all throughout the movie. The first setup is that they're going to be moving.
Can we leave this up till we move?
Well, sure, we can leave it up.
In the room meeting with the toys, they talk about having a moving buddy.
I don't want any toys left behind. A moving buddy. If you don't have one, get one.
When we first meet Buzz, he says he can fly. Woody doesn't believe him.
To infinity and beyond!
He jumps off the bed and does the whole thing and thinks he can fly, even though he's just... It's very conveniently placed things that happen, that he goes onto the plane on the ceiling and spins around, and then he drops down on the bed, and Woody's like...
That wasn't flying! That was falling with style!
We set up Sid's proclivity for destroying toys.
You mean that happy child?
Sliding it! Hit the dirt!
And there's 3 last setups that these all come together at the very end. So Sid burns Woody with the magnifying glass. Sid puts a rocket on Buzz. Sid puts a match in Woody's holster. Okay, cool. So into Act 3. So they have to escape the Raptors.
Spread 5, I'm going in.
Destroy the Death Star, catch up with the moving truck. If they miss that, they are lost. There's a gap that needs to be bridged. The wider the gap, the more joyous the ending will be. They do a great job of this in Toy Story. If they miss the truck, they don't have an address, they don't know what an address is, they're just lost. Often right before the climactic battle, they are abandoned by their ally. So Star Wars, Han Solo leaves.
Good's a reward if you ain't around to use it. Besides, attacking that battle station ain't my idea of courage. It's more like suicide.
He just wants his money, and he goes.
What are you looking at? I know what I'm doing.
Toy Story.
Yeah, great. No, don't leave! You gotta help us, please!
Go back to your lives, citizens.
Slinky Dog has been the only one supporting Woody.
Slink, please, listen to me! No!
But even he gives up on him, and he closes the window. So for Toy Story, it's now or never. The stakes are as high as you can possibly make them. And there's usually a ticking clock. For Star Wars, it's 30 minutes till the Death Star's in range, and by the time they get to their ships, it's 15 minutes. Buzz and Woody need to catch up with the moving truck.
He's at it again!
They still think that Woody sabotaged Buzz,
Toss him overboard!
and so they throw him off. And so it's just him, Buzz, and RC, and they have to catch up with the truck. Eventually, the toys do see that Buzz is on with him.
It is Buzz! Woody was telling the truth!
And Slinky Dog, he grabs onto Woody and Buzz, and he stretches out as far as he can, but he can't pull them back. Eventually, they're left in the dust, and the truck is just driving on without them. This is almost a second Dark Night of the Soul, which is great.
Great!
It ups the stakes. If you've got the audience to this point where you can sustain them for an entire 15-minute sequence, that's exactly where you want them. In the climactic sequence, you want to throw every single thing you possibly can at them. So this is where our payoffs come in. First,
Woody, the rocket!
The match! Yes! Thank you, Sid!
and he lights it. Right then a car drives by, blows out the match. Oh, dang. Another thing thrown at them. This is perfect storytelling. You want to throw everything you possibly can at them at this moment. In Star Wars, ship after ship is blown up in the trench. They miss the target. They can't shoot the torpedoes into the hole. They're down to 3 minutes. Luke is the only one left. He's in the trench, getting ready to shoot.
30 seconds and closing.
30 seconds. Then R2 gets shot.
I've lost R2.
This is perfect. You want to clamp it down on your heroes at this moment, right before the climax.
The Death Star has cleared the planet. The Death Star has cleared the planet.
So you squeeze the characters tighter and tighter. Things just keep getting worse.
Rebel base in range.
You may fire when ready.
You don't make anything good happen for your characters at this point. The match has gone out. They have no way left to light the rocket. Woody is just beside himself. And Buzz droops his head down, and his visor is lit up by the sun, and it focuses the light on Woody's hand. Woody gets an idea. Woody grabs Buzz's helmet, and he aims it at the fuse. And we remember the magnifying glass from earlier, and he's like, yes! But even in this moment of, yes, we've done it, he remembers,
Wait a minute. I just lit a rocket. Rockets explode!
it shoots off right at that moment, and they're going up in the air. Then we have our last final payoff.
Take cover!
The rocket's right about to explode.
This is the part where we blow up!
Not today.
So Buzz pushes the button. They start to fall, basically, but at a certain point, they start flying, basically. And Woody's like,
Hey, Buzz! You're flying!
This isn't flying. This is falling with style.
and they exchange catchphrases.
To infinity and beyond!
That's a perfect payoff for their friendship. They're seeing things the way the other one sees them. It's one thing for me to say that it needs to be inevitable, but the way that you get that is with these setups and payoffs. So, biggest payoff for Star Wars. We're back in the cockpit with Luke. He's about to shoot the proton torpedoes. He's been taught by Obi-Wan throughout this movie to not trust his sight, but to trust the Force. In this final moment where everything rests on it, the targeting computer is just about to lock onto the tube. He hears Obi-Wan's voice.
Use the Force, Luke.
And he doesn't trust it at first. For him, this is his moment of change. At this point, he chooses to trust the Force. He turns off the targeting computer, and at this point, he's just about to be shot by Darth Vader.
I have you now.
Han Solo comes swooping in, and he shoots. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. This is how I know it's a good story point.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
So Luke makes the shot, and it goes in the hole. The Death Star's just about to fire at the planet when, like this is a point that you want to get it to. Grasping victory from the jaws of defeat. And boom, the Death Star blows up. And he's trusted in the Force, even though the targeting computer seems like the way to go. So yeah, that's the climax. Once you wrap things up, you want to get out of there. For Jurassic Park, the climax is basically right before the credits roll. Like, the velociraptors are about to eat them, and right then the T-Rex comes in. Our human characters run out, and they run up to the Jeep, and he's like,
Mr. Hammond, after careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park. So have I.
and then there's like 2 minutes left. And that 2 minutes, that's great. That's perfect. You want to have it as short as possible. This last part after the climax, you want to get out of there as soon as you can. But there's 2 steps left. There's living in the benefit, which that's my teacher's term for it, which I love. I love that term. They are living in the benefit of the lesson that they've learned. So they're living in the armature. In Jurassic Park, this is basically just one shot of him sitting in the helicopter seat with the kids sleeping on top of him, and he's just looking down at them. For Star Wars, it's a bit less to do with the message. It's more just happy we won scene. I love this, the way they do it in Toy Story, because it does something that I really like to do with my scripts. There's one last final lesson. They're at the new house. It's Christmas time. They're waiting to hear what the new toys are. And Buzz is nervous.
Buzz Lightyear, you are not worried, are you?
Me? No. No, 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 no. Mm-mm.
And so he's exactly the way that Woody was.
Are you?
Oh, now, Buzz, what could Andy possibly get that is worse than you?
Oh, what is it? What is it? Wow, a puppy!
And then they both laugh it off. It's kind of a joke, but it's also showing you that Woody doesn't care anymore. It's not about being on top. It's about friendship. That's it. Living in the benefit. And then you get out of there as quick as you can. You have them on this emotional high, and you want to leave them there.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.
That's making me emotional right now. That's how you know that you leave the audience with that. And that's how you do a great Act 3. Whew. Yes. Michael has just said it is like farting in a room and then leaving. So there's that. That might be my rollout.